Okay, guys, I'm back for one more tonight. This time we have Mixmaster. I found him at Walmart for his retail price at $34.99. Way before anybody started seeing him online. I follow the TFW forums, the Transformers California sightings. And at the time when I found this dude, I think it was just dumb luck. My friend convinced me to go into this particular Walmart, and I wasn't going to. And then we ended up finding him, and I freaked out a little bit. But I've had him for a while now. I've gotten a chance to spend some quality time with Mixmaster here. And, yeah. He might be my second favorite Constructicon. Let's take a look at him. So here he is in his mixer mode. He's a flat nose mixing truck. Just like with his buddy here, Scavenger, he is a thick boy. He's very solid from all angles. He isn't obviously a robot. You got some hand detail right here, but when you flip him on the bottom side, can't really tell. They were even clever enough to mold in some axle detail. So that's pretty cool. 2 axles, I think. There's one right there, and then there's another axle right there. But from the bottom, yeah, he looks the part. Got a little bit of silver paint on the front, some purple for the windows. They even got the wheels right. So he doesn't have double wheels in the back that he's probably supposed to, but these are concave. These are convex and these are concave, just like they are on real trucks. Now, since he is a mixer, though, there's not really a whole lot he does in his vehicle mode. The mixer doesn't turn because of the way it transforms. For Devastator, it has to open up, and for his robot, too. You don't have to open it for the robot mode, but the instructions, they tell you to do this. It's really up to you. I haven't had a chance to look at his character model from the 86 show in too much detail, but I don't know if this piece is visible, this little mixer cone. But yeah, he doesn't really do anything in this mode. The instructions say to put his blaster. I don't like his blaster. This is probably my least favorite blaster. It just, I don't know, it kind of looks like Megatron's gun. The gun, the Walther P38, I think Megatron tires into. Kind of looks like him. It is Blast Effect compatible. I forgot to mention that with Scavenger here. He is also Blast Effect compatible with his blaster. But the instructions, and I think the box say to put it right here, but there is a port on top of the cab. Mine's not too solid. It doesn't want to stay in there, but you could do that as well. I think it looks slightly better up there, but the instructions say to put it on the side of what will eventually become his forearms. You got some ladder detail right here. Imagine if you were climbing into the truck. It's a little bit off-centered from the door, but maybe there would be some kind of equipment right here that you would need to operate for the mixer. He looks pretty cool. Not a whole lot of paint, mostly on the hubcaps. Not much to his vehicle mode, but I think, whereas I like Scavenger in all of his modes, well, he only has 2. He has the excavator mode and the robot mode. I think he looks great in both. Mixmaster's strongest mode is his robot mode to me. Not to say that the truck mode is bad. It just doesn't do anything. It doesn't have the articulated arm like Scavenger does. It just feels really nice. Just like his brother over here, I guess his teammate. They have a nice chunk. Like if you chuck this at somebody's head, you would hurt him. It's not super heavy, but it's just thick. It's solid. It doesn't have that bucket feeling. Me and my friend, we talk about it sometimes. Some of the older Transformers, or even maybe some of the new ones, they have this really hollow, buckety feeling to them, and he doesn't have that feeling. It feels like nice, solid, high-quality plastic. But just to get on with it, transformation is pretty simple. Get your fingernails right here. There's a tab, just enough to get your finger in there, and you flip that down, and you see Mixmaster's slightly Decepticon symbol-looking face. You fold his arms down on the hinge. Then you fold out the heels, or what will become the heels. Yes, I think so. Yeah, those become the heels. And then you pull these down. These become the bottom of his feet. Then you just pull his legs out. They kind of accordion back in a weird way, and he has this butt this butt thing, this thing hanging off of his butt. I think that's there to just fill in the top of the cab. I don't mind it. It looks a little bit funny, but you know, it's there. Fold these in to make his shins. And then you fold this down to make his chest. And then you can take his gun and put it in his hand. And that's pretty much Mixmaster. The instructions say to do this too, but it's really up to you. I think that's the way it's supposed to be, at least. Like I said, I think this is his strongest mode. His head looks really, really nice. If you can see it under this blaster piece, I think it's supposed to be. This is not Blast Effect compatible. I think in the show he uses this as a weapon. But it's not the case here. As far as articulation, again, he has no waist, but he does have a very satisfying ankle pivot tilt for when he becomes Devastator's leg. But that doesn't count. You could probably finesse him into some cool poses like this if you wanted to. It's a kind of atypical joint, but it's not really for the robot mode. Bicep swivel. He's got some action at his arms. Not a whole lot because of the way they're shaped. His arms are a little bit lanky too. You can bend him at the elbow. There's a soft lock here and down here straight. There's another one. It's identical on the opposite side. You can get his head to rotate, but you got to get your fat little fingers in there to be able to get it. But if you can rotate his head. You can look up a little bit and down a little bit, like so. Hip swivel. Pretty normal articulation at the hip itself. It goes up and down and back pretty much all the way because of the way he transforms, and forward all the way. He can do the full splits. He has a, I forget what this is called, an ankle tilt. He has an ankle tilt. Not really much of a foot though. I suppose you could pull this out and give him more of a foot, but that looks pretty stupid too. These guys basically have the same amount of articulation. They all pretty much have the same amount of articulation. He also has no hands. A little bit of paint on his chest. He has some right here. I think this is supposed to be a communicator normally when that's right there. That's what it's supposed to represent. He has a beautiful Decepticon logo on his stomach. I think he looks really nice. Not my favorite, but he was the most exciting for me to find because I really didn't think I would find him. I think if this is your favorite Constructicon, you'll be very happy. Before I forget too, there's nowhere to put his gun when he's not holding it in his hand. You'd think it would go back here. Scavenger, you can tab his end right above his butt, right where the shovel slots on his back in one of these ports. Pretty much all the other Constructicons have somewhere to store their weapon on their body that's slightly more elegant. Mixmaster does not. If you don't want it in his hand, you're kind of limited on where else you can put it. And I would say the strongest thing about him, of all the limb robots, he feels the best. He has the best feel to him in his vehicle mode and in his robot mode. There's no real hollow pieces on him. Unfortunately, my favorite here, Scavenger, he does have some hollow pieces on his arms. Right here where his fists go in. It's not that big of a deal, though. I love it. I think, all in all, as a figure on its own, if you weren't going to get Devastator and you just wanted one of the Constructicon team members, he would probably be your best bet. He looks the best on his own. Right? He doesn't have any openings. Like, I think he has a good amount of paint, a good amount of articulation. I wouldn't get him by himself, but to make Devastator, you should definitely get him. Yeah, if you want to get Devastator, get this dude. If you can find him. People are having a hard time finding Mixmaster, but if you can find him somewhere online or wherever your retailers are located, then definitely pick him up. I really like him. All right, guys.